7-11, it is Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial start of summer, and although it seems a lot like March outside, summer is coming, at least according to Sam. So what hot books will you be reading while your toes are in the sand? Well, noted Connecticut author Kristen Tsetsi joins me now with her picks for lounging literature. And you also wrote a book, Pretty Much True, right?
Yes,
okay.
yes, thank you.
Tell me about that one real quick.
That is a story of waiting, of loss of control, while the protagonist's fiance is deployed during the first few months of the Iraq War, so it's pretty intense.
And you kind of work from first-hand experience, too.
Yes, it's fiction, but it was inspired by a real experience.
All right. Moving on to this summer's
Yes.
hot reads, what do you think is, what do you recommend?
This does not seem like a light beach read. I weighed it. It is 2.5 to 3 pounds.
You could actually change the tide with this thing.
You could.
And it is written by a guy who's written a few books.
It is written by Stephen King.
Yes.
I don't know if you like the JFK assassination or the whole conspiracy theory angle, if you're interested.
It is interesting.
As a
I didn't know
journalist.
that King had written anything about it. Is this fairly new?
It's fairly new. It's about the JFK assassination, but it's also about time travel. It's a really interesting. It looks threatening. It looks like something you wouldn't want to pick up because it's a major commitment.
I can read that for 3 summers.
You could,
actually.
yeah. But it's really engrossing.
And is there horror built into it? I mean, because Stephen King, we think of him as being kind of a fear monger.
Well,
right?
if you read the 1-star reviews on Amazon, there are some complaints that it's not like Pet Sematary or Christine or something like that. It's not as dark.
Yeah.
But you have to remember King also wrote Dolores Claiborne and Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
So it's a really
wonderful.
good story.
Yeah.
Combined with little elements of his darkness and freakiness.
And even Stand By Me, The Body, which is, there's some creepy moments, but some of my favorite work by him is less monstery kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like that, and it's really riveting.
Now, can we go in order here? Because I see one called Aegean Dream.
Aegean Dream. Have you ever fantasized about leaving your life and just living on an island?
Within the last 5 minutes, I don't know how many times.
Yes.
And not because of you, by the way, but I just think that's any 5 minutes.
About to be offended. My husband and I, a couple of weekends ago, were fantasizing about moving to Belize, but you wake up in the morning and it's a hassle. You decide, forget it, I'll just stay where I am.
Right.
Dario Ciriello and his wife decided to move from California to Greece. They had visited, they fell in love with the island, they made friends there, and they just really decided to go and just live there.
I like the cover, by the way, while you're talking about this. So they just up and moved to Greece.
Yes.
It's a beautiful little scape here that I don't know if we can zoom in on it, but that's all right if we can't. Anyway, you get the idea. Beautiful ocean, well, gorgeous, yes. I will aim that at the camera.
And there are pictures inside too. Unfortunately, they're not color, but there are a lot of photos they took while they were there.
That's a postcard right there in and of itself. So they have a good adventure. That sounds like something you'd enjoy on the beach.
You would, but it also gives you a realistic portrait of you have to talk to you can't just move to Greece.
Yeah,
you have to talk to the consulate. You have to get permissions. It's
you gotta love
complicated.
immigration, folks. It's just a piece of cake.
Yeah.
I've been through that myself with Canada. And what's next?
Next is The Good House by Anne Leary.
Okay.
This is just released this year, and the woman has a dependency issue, so she's very unreliable. However, she's unreliable in a reliable sense. You, as the reader, know when she's full of it.
Okay.
But you expect her to be full of it because she drinks a lot. And that makes her kind of funny, but what's really interesting about this is that her friends in the neighborhood, it's based in New England, and the friends in her neighborhood are not drunks, but they are equally unreliable. They don't have an excuse the way she does.
I wonder how people come up with these characters. And by the way, so it sounds like it's very entertaining. Anne Leary, our producer Harris is telling me that Anne is married to Dennis Leary. Is that right? I would think there might be. That's a pretty entertaining household then.
Yes, it would be. There are some pretty good laugh out loud moments in this, and I'm sure she's funny in her own right.
Now, for people who like a little something racier, Mafia Captive, I see you have here.
Yes, Mafia Captive. I know that E.L. James is very popular, but this will actually, if you're reading this on the beach, people will stop. They'll be curious, so it's a good conversation starter, I think.
Just the cover alone.
Just the cover, right. This is the story of a woman who witnesses a murder, a mob hit, and she is then kidnapped by someone in the mob, and the person who is in the mob is interested in S&M, and she is a perfect victim because she's frightened. So there's a really interesting dynamic going on. There are a lot of psychological issues. This is by Kitty Thomas, who has a really loyal following of her erotica, and some of her stuff gets a little more risque, or you know, this is one of her more romantic books. So if you want to ease into it, Mafia Captive is probably the one you want to try out first. And it starts with really great suspense.
Okay, we have about 30 seconds left. My Summer Vacation, how apropos.
My Summer Vacation by Hannah Goodman. This is 129 pages of absolute goodness. It's about a girl named Maddie. It's the second in a 5-part series. Maddie is a 16-year-old counselor in training at a summer camp. It's a hippy-dippy kind of artsy camp.
Yeah.
And all her teenage friends are together, and they live an entire life on 129 pages of romance and love and loss, and it's absolutely hysterical and beautiful. And adults and youth will love it. It's crazy good.
So a smaller dose, but a lot of entertainment there,
It's
too.
brilliant. It's a brilliant book.
All right, Kristen Tsetsi, you would know. You're an author yourself. Pretty much true is your book. You also write for the Journal-Inquirer.
I do, yes. I'm a feature writer for the Living section.
How about that? Busy gal.
Busy.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate that. And now I know some stuff to pick up for when the weather finally gets in our in our wheelhouse, Sam. So we've got the sand's waiting. The books are here. All we need is you to help us out with some good weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much, right? Not yet.
Not so much.